This is Ken Gidge, and this is the art of politics. And as you know, Republicans talk to Republicans, Democrats talk to Democrats, and guess what? They never talk to one another. They never argue with one another. Well, right here on the art of politics, we do exactly that. I'm the good guy because I am the Democrat. This gentleman sitting beside me who's reading the paper, David, who is a state representative as I am, Representative David Robbins, Representative Ken Gidge, he is a Republican, bad, but he'd say, the Democrat's bad, and I am a Democrat. He has the party with 297 people, and I am only one of 103 in the state of New Hampshire. And guess what? It takes more than 300 Republicans to beat up on 103 Democrats. Well, anyway, yeah, hi, Dave. Dave, we're happen to be doing a TV show. What? You are reading the newspaper.
All right. I'm sorry.
You're reading the newspaper.
I apologize.
Is that a typical Republican thing that you do?
No, I'm just really ticked off.
About what?
Well, this is the Telegraph, the Nashua Telegraph, and I really like the Nashua Telegraph, and I'm the old school. I like to get the paper. I like to read the paper.
I agree.
But these guys, you know, I'm really sick of the censorship in here that goes on. The censorship of political points of view. You know, I mean, I might expect it from some other papers in the state, but the Telegraph is just ridiculous.
I beg your pardon? What are they censoring?
All right, listen. From June through the election,
okay,
hundreds of people in the greater Nashua area, even if they have a wonderful letter or a wonderful op-ed piece or a wonderful column, they won't get published. The Telegraph has said, we are absolutely excluding you people. You belong to a class of people that we're not going to publish.
You mean political?
They won't publish anything by these people.
By who?
You and I. Anybody who's running for political office. Anyone who's running for a political office, be they state, federal, county, what have you. And to give them their due, they do say there are a couple of exceptions. If somebody is attacked, or if the paper holds somebody out or something like this. But what this means is that people who are involved, interested, hopefully have some sense of public policy at the state level, the Telegraph won't even consider them. And the Telegraph, in fact, is abdicating their responsibility as a newspaper, because what they're doing is they're taking the easy way out. They're saying, oh, no, we can't exercise judgment on what we're going to publish. We're just going to take anybody who's a politician and we're just going to take them off the stage. And it's cowardly. It is editorially, morally cowardly. So that's why I'm ticked off.
Okay, well, I've got the Telegraph right here, and I want to say a little bit on that. I say I can't get in the newspaper even if I run over a nut. I feel the same way you feel. I feel that by the way, my family's had the Telegraph for over 100 years, so take my word for it. I get it every morning in my driveway.
Oh yeah, I would never not get the Telegraph.
I will not criticize the Telegraph, but I will make a suggestion to the Telegraph, and the suggestion is this. Since we're coming into a political time, and since you have only 27 state representatives in the city of Nashua?
Well,
you'll be 27.
Yeah, 27, but we're talking about all of the, surrounding community. We're talking about county officials.
Okay, well, let's say to Nashua.
All right.
Okay. Why doesn't the Telegraph just have a section for politics? But if I write something, and I'm a Democrat, the paper put right underneath it, as I say here, if you don't agree with what I say or what David says, you can come in and you can sit on and we'll give you 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it would be good to find out what you and I think against each other or for each other. We don't talk about a lot of bigger issues. But the Telegraph would get more people looking at it, getting more people, I think, reading it, getting more people involved. And that's the idea, is that newspapers today, okay, are getting to the point where they're losing, and they're losing, and they're losing. But there are papers here in the country that have decided that we're just going to go local. We're local. We are your local politicians. What we say...
For better or worse.
Well, that's right, but you're going to get more people looking at it. You're going to get more people reading it. And to the Telegraph's benefit, what they also do is they have an online section. All right? So I'll complain about one thing. I'm an artist.
Yep.
I was on the front page of the Manchester Union Leader.
Yep.
The Globe is doing a story, and the interesting part of that is when the photographer came down and spent an hour, he said, you're going to be either on the front page of the Globe or the front page of the art section. And I got a call from the person writing the story who wanted to know, when I was married in the 1960s, and was my wife still alive? Because I'm on my second marriage. All right? And what type of story are you writing? Telegraph does nothing. Now, Telegraph does a lot on art, and that's an important thing. Mm-hmm. So I would say, Telegraph, look, I understand paper, print, etc., but let David and let myself write a few things, but let other people put it underneath. If you want to criticize or enter into it, do it. Now, I want to tell a story of when I was doing radio, because I think this is important. I was for and am for Jean Shaheen. Mm-hmm. I had her on a lot. Mm-hmm. But my boss then was Ed Lecious, and Ed Lecious comes from an old line of radio people. Mm-hmm. And there became a point where the law didn't exist anymore, where you had to give equal time.
Equal time, that's right.
Okay. I said, Ed says, if you have Jean on, Jean Shaheen, who he likes, yeah, you must have the Republican on. He's a Republican. Yep. And I said, fine. I said, what do you want me to do? I've called them, but they're not responding. And Ed Lecious said to me, that's all you have to do. Mm-hmm. So if the Telegraph did a little thing about you, even on the pages of editorial, little snippets, right underneath me or right underneath you, if you want to respond to this as a Republican or a Democrat, you may do it. Mm-hmm. Now the fact of the matter is that when she was running against this individual, he never came in. But 2 days before a week before the election, he came in and spent an hour and a half with me. An hour and 3/4. Jean Shaheen never got that time. Mm-hmm. She got 5 minutes, she got 10 minutes. Because I really believe that you need both sides. Right. But you need some hard-hitting stuff, and then have people respond to it. You get a lot more people, I think, looking at it, reading it. And the same thing with radio.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to belabor this point a whole lot more, but what I would like to say, and I'd like to say this directly to Nick Pappas, who's the editor, and from what I've heard and what I've seen, he's a great guy. The Telegraph is a wonderful paper, but Nick, I really think that what you're doing by excluding politicians during this 5 or 6 month period does a disservice to the voters and to the citizens of the Nashua area. I also think there's a certain element of being cowardly in this and abdicating your editorial judgment and editorial responsibility by deciding what is appropriate to publish and what is not appropriate to publish. You are a newspaper. That's what newspapers do. They have a news side and they have an editorial side. And on the editorial side, they exercise a certain type of judgment about what to publish. And on the news side, they exercise another type of judgment of what to publish. So I would ask you to reconsider your policy. I'd ask you respectfully to reconsider your policy and give me a call. Thanks a lot.
I have a great idea. Why don't we ask Mr. Pappas to come in and sit down with us?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
Okay, I will make the call. Mm-hmm. Okay, But to defend the Telegraph just a little is, well, the Telegraph knows that a lot of the things on the editorial page are written by friends writing about friends who are in politics.
Yeah.
Well, that's sort of, you sort of miss it. You sort of don't get the flavor of it. You really don't. So if they let us write something, but put underneath, Ken Gidge is a Democrat and he's running for state, office. But if you are running against him or a Republican and want to comment on this, you may. And I have a feeling that this would add a little flavor. Now, having said that, you know and I know, here in New Hampshire, we have more politicians. Was 400 of us, and the Telegraph is everywhere throughout the state.
Mm-hmm.
This would almost be impossible. So I probably would say, okay, how about if you did an online thing, but put it in your editorial area, Ken Gidge, Dave Robbins, go to this, and you can read what they have to say. That might save them a lot of time, a lot of print. I would go that far.
Well, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about if you write an op-ed piece, for example, and it's about a topic that is important. It doesn't, it may or may not have anything to do with you running for office, but you know a lot of things about a lot of different things, and they won't publish it, no matter how interesting, appropriate, or timely it is during this period.
You know that they used to publish everything that I wrote.
And what happened now? What's going on now?
Well, I really haven't said much, but basically I tried to make it humorous. For instance, I just wrote one.
Yeah.
And I didn't send it out. And basically it has to do with guns.
Right.
And I believe that everybody should own any gun that they want except a gun that shoots grenades and earth to air, missiles.
You mean you want to keep those stinger population
right.
down?
I think all right, but I have conversed with all the unions of the squirrels, of the rabbits, of the otters, of the raccoons, and what they say is, look, the one-shot hunter coming into our woods and taking one shot, guess what? It's hunting season. But these guys would come in with assault rifles, do 10 in a row, and are killing innocent animals. Okay? I mean, so this is what the unions of the squirrels, etc. But the unions of the beaver, they don't give a damn. That's how I end it. And it's hopefully it's a little bit more amusing than that.
Well, I like that.
I didn't send it in.
Well, you know what? This once again demonstrates how Democratic politicians are stooges of the unions.
Stooges of the unions.
Yes. Here.
Democrats,
stooges of the unions. Here you are, you're consorting with animal unions. I think you should be ashamed of yourself.
With the squirrels and the raccoons and the rabbits and the otters, and by the way, it's RA, rabbits, otters,
Well, you're probably going to want to have amnesty for illegal bears, and you're going to want them to vote.
Yeah.
Gosh, to think that I have to put up with this.
But they don't have to vote if they eat a Republican. or 2 bites of a Republican, and
Yeah, I wonder if there'd be some kind of channeling there, a transference. Well, let's go on. Hey, you said you had some stuff.
No,
going on.
the point is, I tried to write things that are amusing that they will print. But I didn't even send this one out because my name is Ken Gidge and I'm running for a political office. But I think that's funny. I mean, I sort of stick up for the.
Why don't you read it? Write it and read it here, and we can put it up on the screen, or we can have it on the green screen behind us. If we have a green screen right now, we're sitting in the plush but not overly ostentatious lobby of the State House. You see the windows there, and this sort of Saki's is here.
Socrates, yeah. Well, I may do that, but I think it's kind of, it's funnier if you read it. And you're right. If we could, Dick could probably put it up, whoever the cameraman is, and excuse me, the engineer can put it up, and we can read it. But the whole idea was, look, the reason why the gun associations want assault rifles, it's not for hunting. And it should be a law against assault rifles in New Hampshire hunting deer. I mean, there really should be a law against that. But would the gun associations step up and say, no, you cannot buy a gun that shoots grenades? And I have a feeling they would not. So that's kind of a throwing that in there.
You know, it's
you know, in the you know, earth-to-air missiles.
Right. Well,
and you know why?
Why is that?
Because they're protecting the rights of people to defend themselves, and everybody thinks it's to defend themselves at home. It's not what it really says in our Constitution. If you feel that our government is not working well, you have the right to overthrow or to start.
Well, that's certainly in the state of New Hampshire's Constitution.
Well, no,
specifically the right of revolution.
Yeah, it's in the U.S. Constitution also that you may do that. But having said that, it looks pretty silly if you let somebody go into the woods with an assault rifle here in New Hampshire and shoot 10 shots at one deer, because you can really, when people miss, they do hit other things like little rabbits, etc. The unions.
Oh, here, you know, we're listening to those unions again.
Yeah, well, I did put that the beavers don't have a union and they couldn't give a damn. So I thought, you know.
Well, damn the beavers.
Yeah, damn the beavers. But they also don't want dynamite or any type of explosives.
You know, you're making a very good point, and truth. You know, disclaimer here, I'm a member of the NRA. I have a concealed carry permit. I own firearms. So I believe very, very strongly in, well, the way I construe the Second Amendment. But having said that, is there any limit on this? I mean, if I wander in with a bazooka, that's a firearm.
That's something that I have thought about.
Yep.
And so when I wrote this little thing, I wrote it basically for the Telegraph.
Yep.
It's amusing. And the reason I put that in there is, you know, with the little animals don't want the assault rifle because it goes off 10 shots. There's no reason to hunt deer with an assault rifle, but you can own one. That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But would the gun associations absolutely stand up and ban guns that shoot grenades? And I think Republicans and Democrats who feel strongly that one ought to protect oneself realizes that you don't need guns that shoot grenades or surface-to-air missiles.
Yeah, I mean,
Would you, excuse me, you're a member of it, would you say right now that a person should not own those? Would you?
You know, I don't mean to equivocate. I probably would. However, what I'd like to talk about and think about is the Second Amendment. Just the same way the First Amendment essentially is interpreted to mean you can't yell fire in a movie theater.
Okay.
So there are limits on free speech, obviously. You know, I mean, there are. You know,
I understand that. What's your point?
So my point is that I think it's reasonable that there are limits on the Second Amendment. I'm just not sure where they come down.
Well, why don't you write to your rifle association and ask them if they would simply say that an individual who should not own a gun that shoots grenades and or surface-to-air missiles?
Well, you know
what would they say?
We know what I'd like to do.
No, what would they say?
I don't know what they'd say.
Would you think you know what I'm betting?
What?
I'm betting they'd say no. Every weapon is legal. And if you want to know the truth, I'm a Democrat and I'm for people who own guns.
Right.
But I'm not.
Well, you got a co-host who owns guns.
But I got news for you. Democrats own guns.
Yes.
But when you get the gun associations just putting money into Republicans, and eliminating basically Democrats on this, then it's more political than it is anything else.
What I'd like to do is I'd like to invite somebody from Go New Hampshire, Gun Owner New Hampshire, or one of the local gun rights groups to come in and talk with us and to respectfully give them a platform.
Why don't you call the main office and find out?
Yeah, well,
You're a member.
all right. I'll
You're
tell
a
you
member.
what. You're gonna call Nick Pappas. I'll call. Well, no, I belong to the NRA, but there are local groups.
No. Get it from the head people.
Well, we'll talk about this off the air, but I think we agree in principle that this is something that we could and should do.
I have a feeling that the gun associations will say, no, if you can buy a gun that shoots grenades, you can own it.
Well, let's find out.
Surface-to-air missile. Okay, now we have talked about the telegraph. I have something to say about the telegraph.
Well,
okay?
please go right ahead.
All right, okay. Now, we haven't really criticized the telegraph. I don't think. We're just saying, hey, guess what? You want a few more readers and writers.
I've criticized the telegraph. I just criticized the telegraph.
All right.
Which is what they want. I mean, that's what newspapers are all about.
What? Being criticized?
Yeah. That's interest. I mean, we've spent 15 minutes talking about the telegraph. That's right.
So buy one.
Get
one.
Buy a freaking telegraph.
No, right. Call up circulation.
Right.
I get one every morning.
That's right. Get a subscription. Buy 5 of them.
All right. Okay. What we have here is on the front of the telegraph, which I think is really important. Kelly Ayotte. All right. And what she said is absolutely, unequivocally false. No, this is on the telegraph.
Cute.
Yo, she's cute, huh?
Well, Misty.
She is a liar.
Look at, you got two photographs of Misty.
She is a liar.
Wait,
okay?
Misty?
No.
Oh.
Let's stick to Kelly Ayotte for a while.
All right.
I said here on this television show that from now on, if somebody lied, I'm going to call him a liar. She is a liar.
What did Kelly lie about?
Okay, right here,
Allegedly.
It shows, and the Telegraph and organizations have looked at trying to find out who's telling the truth. What she said is false. She came to Nashua with Senator McCain, using her campaign funds, by the way, that you gave her to run for a political office. She's spending your money to come up here. She goes to Bay. No, you may agree with that. But you didn't send her up here to lie. She goes to Bay Industries, which are very important to Nashville. It used to be Sanders Associates, and it's gone through a lot of...
BAE, yes.
All right, okay. And it's an important...
Oh, yeah, very important.
Very, very important.
Yep.
And we know that there's going to be cuts in the defense budget. All right? I mean, we're overspending anyway, but... And we're done 2 wars or line, so you can use less money, obviously, because if you get rid of a war, you're going to have more of a surplus.
Let's get to Kelly's
lie.
lie.
Okay, well, this has something to do with it, because she stood up and she said, oh, your jobs are going to be hurt, you're going to get fired. All right, but what she said, she starts it off and she said, the first thing that the President of the United States did was go to Cairo and apologize for the United States of America. So he's going around the world and apologizing. So if you take a look at...
It's upside down.
Upside down, okay, I'm sorry. If you take a look at right here, which I will read from the Telegraph, all right, it says, Obama Cairo speech, when the president never included the words, sorry, apologize. Political fact has regularly found Romney's angle that Obama trips were intended to offer President a forum to apologize to the countries to be a ridiculous charge. There is clear difference between, the politics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. She lies.
According to PolitiFact.
Well, I think when they come around and they start criticizing Democrats, which they do, and which I like somebody to say this is truth and this is not the truth. All right. So Kelly Ayotte has used your money to travel around and lie. Kelly Ayotte today is our liar of the week. That's my opinion. Is she your liar of the week? Do you agree or disagree?
I love this. I love this. You get your hair on fire over this stuff. This is wonderful.
Well, a lie is a lie.
A lie is a lie. That's right.
Now, where do we find this?
In the Telegraph.
In the Telegraph.
The paper that we love.
The paper that you were just criticizing.
Well, that's all right. I mean, that's what they're there for.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't print my unions of rabbits.
Well, because you haven't sent it in.
Well,
you know what you should? We should have Nick Pappas on, and you should hand it to him
do you
on
think
the air.
Nick Pappas would come on this show?
Of course he would.
You really think so?
Yes.
Give me a break. If he saw this show, he'd never come on.
I think we ought to send him a disc.
Send him a disc?
Of this show.
Oh, yeah, that would really get him the show.
No, I think that's. I mean, what?
That really, he'd be here.
Dear Nick.
Dear Nick.
We would like to invite you on to our little television program just to see what, so that you know what you're getting into here. Pop this in.
And I think what we have done is, and I know I've criticized at one time, I had a great guest from the union leader come down, a reporter, and I criticized the union leader a little. And I call this individual, I can't come down anymore because you criticized my paper.
You're kidding.
So I called up the head guy and said, are you joking? I praise you guys.
Oh, there's the union leader now.
There's the union leader now. All right, okay. This is something.
This is
this
is not staged.
Right,
Who is it?
Let us take it. Hold on a second. Hello, can I help you?
Hello?
Yes, can I help you?
Yeah, hi, my name is Michael. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Where are you calling from, Mike?
Well, the reason of my call is to inform
No,
you.
no, no,
that you
Mike.
are
Mike, where are you calling from?
All right, I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
You're calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Right.
You're not calling from India?
No, I'm calling from Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, Mike. I hope they can pick this up. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
Sorry? Well, the reason of my call is to inform you that you are qualified to receive $200 gas card, which is absolutely free for you. So do you have any idea why are you getting this $200 gas card?
Mike, I don't want to call you a liar, but I don't think you're calling from Phoenix. Don't call him again. How's that?
Have a nice day, bye-bye.
Bye, Mike. Well, the only thing is I would have been a little bit more interested in seeing what Mike's pitch was about, and then
gas cards.
We probably should have informed him that he was on television.
Well, I don't. Well, he's from Phoenix, Arizona. If anybody can track Mike down in Phoenix, Arizona, excuse me. And by the way, wasn't it Romney, the president, who took jobs from Massachusetts and sent them to India?
Talk about a connection. You know, I thought you were going to tell me that Mike was part of Bain Capital.
No. He could be, but let's just.
Did you have Mike call?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we have to, but isn't that? I don't think I had to do that. But isn't that interesting? How we get a guy calling up who's definitely Indian. There's no question about that. He's in India.
He certainly sounds as though he was from the subcontinent.
And by the way, I've heard people say they use Phoenix, Arizona as where they're from. Okay?
Really? Okay.
Now, they may have go through Phoenix to call us, but they're in India. So you have a president, Romney, who's running for a political office, who got rid of jobs in Massachusetts by sending them overseas to let people from India call from Arizona and take our jobs away. So that's your candidate. Romney did this in Massachusetts.
Wait a minute. Are you all right? Are you really all right? hang on. Let me just take a look here for a second. Wait a minute. There we go.
All right. Okay.
Oh! Wait a minute, Ken. Are you sure you're okay?
Well, I feel like I feel a little more airy.
You know,
Is it?
good Lord, I think I can see part of the
Let me,
wall and the window behind you.
Oh, David, did you know I have been working, you know I'm an artist, correct?
I do.
Okay, and you know I do 3D art, correct?
I do.
Well, I have come up with an invisible painting. In other words...
Invisible painting.
That's correct. Now, they can tell that it's real.
Yeah.
But when I turn it around, it's going to become invisible.
No.
Yes.
No.
So you don't even need 3D glasses.
Really?
So
because
it's
not there.
No, I'm going to sell paintings that are invisible, and people don't even know if they're there.
Well, they know if they're invisible, they're not there.
No, they're not. So there you go. You ready, ladies
right,
and gentlemen?
ready.
This
All right.
is my first invisible painting.
Look at that.
How's that?
That is wonderful.
How's
wait,
that?
Wait a minute.
My new invisible painting. See that?
Yeah, look
My
at
new
that.
one. Nobody has this, but it has something to do.
Have you patented this?
No, it has something to do with the invisibility cloak with Harry Potter. But now watch this. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? My invisible painting, and here I go. Anyway.
I love that.
All right, we got Romney, we got invisible paintings. I got a hole in my head.
That's
See?
right. Well, you get rid of that
It's
hole.
this-
It's much better.
And by the way, it's green, and we're standing, really sitting in the green room. And they said, don't wear green or bring green, but I had to bring my invisible painting.
Well, we're in the lobby of the legislature in the State House. I'm not quite sure what's going on here, but strange things happen.
You know what I think? I think we have to take a break because we've gone through a whole half hour already. Okay, so this is Ken Gidge, and this is The Art of Politics with Dave, the bad guy, because he's a Republican. Ken, you know, the good guy. We'll be back in a moment.
Hi, this is Dave Robbins. We're back again. The Art of Politics. I'm the good guy. Dave Robbins. Ken's the bad guy.
Republican.
The communist.
The-
You know, there's something else I wanted to talk about.
Wait a minute, calling me communist. I mean, that's pretty bad. I'm not a communist.
You're not?
No, so I could turn around and I can say Dave Robbins says it's okay to use bazookas in the woods to
Well,
shoot deer.
you could, but
All right.
but every people would look at this angelic face.
Yeah, and know that that's
no,
factual.
it's not.
And
the
know
case.
that it's factual.
You know, you and I have talked about running for office.
Yes.
And the fact that it costs money
Yes.
to run for office.
Yes, it does.
And the fact that, for example, we have to buy signs.
Dave,
Like
is
this.
yours two-sided? Let's see.
Yeah, it's a two-faced sign.
All right, two-faced.
A two
I like that. It's a two-faced. Give me that damn thing. Come on, for God's sake, get rid of this damn thing. I mean, come on, get rid of it.
There we go.
For God's sake, you figured your sign out. Excuse me, I'm Ken Gidge. I'm running for office. Here's my sign. What a two-faced sign. Two-faced person, two-faced sign. How dare you? What nerve?
What nerve? I know. It's well. That's you have to
Okay,
have
signs.
nerve.
How much did you pay for that?
I think that was about. I got 100 for 250 or 75 bucks.
Okay,
like that.
did you get the little things that go with them?
Yep.
Yeah,
It was-
I
it was-
paid more than that
It was,
for
it, was
mine.
a, it was a good deal.
Okay, that's $250
Union labor too.
for your. Well, you don't do it without union labor. You
Yeah.
just don't do that. In fact, I called the company and I said, "You union?" They said,
Yeah.
"We're affiliated and we put the thing on for you." Yeah, is it on there?
I'm looking for the bug now, and I don't see it, but I think I'm pretty sure it is.
If it's not on there, David, it's not union labor.
Well, okay. This is from the last
I would,
election.
yeah,
I'm
but I
gonna
would,
go
I
somewhere
would
else.
just put union on it or something because that's only fair. You voted against right to work or right to work for less, so you don't want the unions too upset at you, but you in turn voted the first time for it, and the final time against right to work. So
Yes, actually a number of times.
Okay, so you voted with the unions.
Well, what I did was I voted for what I thought was right, and in fact, I realized the error of my way, and I've admitted it, several times. It's not even an admission.
Oh.
This is what happens. This is education.
Two-faced person, two-faced sign. I swear to God. You know, you shouldn't have brought that, and admitted it. I caught you.
I have given you.
You had admitted it.
You know, talk about being a straight man. I mean, and I do this willingly.
Ed McMahon outlived Johnny Carson, so.
This is true. Made more money in the end too, I think, even though he lost.
Well, also, I've been watching. They have these Johnny Carson things on, right? And the interesting thing is, I've watched when Ed McMahon got loaded, and he came on the show, because Johnny and him used to go out and plop him. Well, Johnny didn't go one day, and Ed got faced.
Oh, I think I saw that bit. I think I saw that segment.
Right.
Johnny was not happy.
Well, he wasn't too happy, but the show was great, so he probably looked at it later and said, "Hey, that was a great show."
Well, before we move on to the next thing.
I don't have a next thing.
Oh, all right. Well,
all right. Okay.
Think about this.
We'll come up with okay.
The whole idea with bringing in the sign is the fact that we do have to raise some money, especially you and I, because we're in districts that are not, you know, all one party. They shift back and forth. And for us, at the very least, to be able to say to people, here I am, and this is what I believe, and this is how I voted. I mean, I know you go door to door, I go door to door, but we have to also have a presence of some sort, and that costs money. And I'm not sitting here asking for money for anyone, but there is a reason that politicians raise money. And that is because there's no other way to get a message across.
Well, I think we ought to get something straight. First of all, you're in New Hampshire, and it's the 4th largest governing body in the English-speaking world. Yeah. There are 400 state representatives.
Right.
You are one of the 400. I am one of the 400. In the state of New Hampshire, I think, what is it, every 3,900 people have one state representative.
3,200.
3,200. In California, that would mean 11,000 state representatives. So we don't get paid. We get $100 a year, plus gas mileage and free tolls. And sometimes not parking place. Sometimes you don't get a parking place.
But we can get into state parks for free.
Yes, but going up there and getting a parking ticket because you can't get a parking place is pretty bad.
I know.
Because I've gone up there trying to get in a parking garage, which is about a quarter mile away from the State House, but you can go to another parking garage, which is a mile away, and guess what? When it is cold, and it's colder in Concord than it is here in Nashua, it's colder, and the wind blows. So we take money out of our pocket on a weekly, on a monthly, and a yearly basis to do this job. We do it for all sorts of reasons. I'm one of those guys, I'm madder than hell, I'm not going to take it anymore.
I love it. Yeah, I have a great time.
You take it serious, you do a lot of studying, you go to Concord a lot more than many, many people. This is important. I don't like your politics. I don't like you Republicans, you slippery little rascals. I didn't say slimy, I said slippery. And I mean that in a kind of a fun way, all right? I think
he means it in a nice way.
Yes, right. But I also believe that people must understand we do this, and our state is considered one of the better states to live in, to raise children.
Oh, yeah.
Less corruption, cleaner air, cleaner water.
Lower taxes.
Lower taxes. Yeah. An hour to Boston, an hour to the mountains,
right.
An hour to the beaches, okay? We're in a wonderful state to live in. And this state doesn't become a wonderful state without good political people going up there. Mm-hmm. Now, there are 400 of us. And as I said to the Speaker of the House, I guess it's like herding cats. And he said, it's herding cats plus something else, which I found very funny. I was laughing, all right, as the Speaker of the House. And it's factual. He's a Republican, and I wish he was a Democrat. One person taking care of trying to hold 400 people down, yet at the end of the day, we pass a balanced budget,
yep.
Both Republicans and Democrats.
Yep.
We have cut jobs, some too much. We've cut some taxes. 10 cents off cigarettes to me is not very bright, but okay, it happened. But somehow it works out with us, the 400 of us, to where it's a great place to live. Freedom is not free. Freedom, in this case, doesn't have to be that expensive up here if you want a great state like the state of New Hampshire. When you pay $250 for signs and you make $100 a year, then you literally have to have mail-outs.
Oh, yeah.
All right? You have to walk around. You have to do all this stuff. Now, most politicians don't have that problem. Most politicians in other states, like representatives, is how many? 160 in Massachusetts?
Massachusetts 160. It's about one for every 40,000.
All right, okay. So up here it's one for every 3,200.
Yeah.
So New Hampshire's a better place to live. Now the question is, how much money do they make?
Down there, I don't know, 50, 60, something like that.
$50,000, $60,000. I think it's a little bit more than that. Plus,
Okay.
I think they get a lot of perks. You know, I think they maybe get insurance. We don't get insurance.
Well, whatever. I mean, any other state legislature is basically folks they may not get paid a living wage. I know Arizona it's like $24,000, but there is a fiscal financial incentive.
Yeah, well, $24,000 a year, David, compared to taking $24,000 a year out of our pockets to do this job. $24,000 a year would break. Now, you have a pension.
Yeah.
I don't have a pension. You're basically retired. I'm not retired.
Yep.
So I really have got to work hard. All right?
And you do.
And so, yeah, well, thanks. And I'm in something very important, I would say, commerce, which is banking and insurance. Banking and insurance, I mean, I don't think Ward 6 or really the city of Nashville wants to lose somebody in 4 years in this position. I've learned it.
Yeah.
It's important. That's why I'm doing it, is because I'm madder than hell. And guess what? This is a place where insurance can't get away with stuff. And then, and having said that, insurance needs some incentives also. Banking can't get away, even though we've bailed a lot of them out, but banking still needs some incentives. So here I am. But here we are getting $100 a year. You paid $250 for your signs 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I just got a quote for signs for $595. 100 signs for $500. Excuse me. If you would like to send some money, not just to myself, and we can't ask for money, I don't think. We can't ask for money. We can publicize. But if you find a representative you like, support them. Financially, if you can. Signs in your yard. I'm from Ward 6. If you're from Ward 6 and you got a place I can put a sign, and guess what? At the polls, that's from 6 o'clock in the morning to 8 o'clock at night.
Just vote. I mean, if nothing else, vote.
Oh, no. I don't agree with you. I say don't vote. My neighbors got mad at me. I was talking to my neighbors, and I went out and I voted, right? And I said, did you vote? And I know there's some Republicans, and they said, no, we didn't vote. It's not a big election. I said, well, I voted for you. Well, how could you do that? I said, well, you didn't vote. I'm a Democrat. I voted. You're two Republicans and one Democrat, and I voted for you. So that's fine. Don't vote. I'll vote for you. You'll vote for them. But I think we're talking financial. It's very difficult. Is that your point?
Well, the point, yeah, actually, I forgot what the point is. Let's move on.
Okay. Something took place which is very important today. That came into the Obamacare regarding women. It's a lot of things. Mammograms, not being able to be thrown out of health care. I mean, it's too many things for me. And my printer doesn't work, so I couldn't bring them all in. But something that did happen yesterday was called the 80-20.
What's the 80-20?
Now, the 80-20 is insurance companies must spend 80% of the money that they get, all right, to people like you regarding insurance aspects, like they could cut you out and say, well, yeah, you paid your bill, but we don't like you, so we can throw you out, or you're limited to this amount of time, and then you're out, and then you've got to go bankrupt.
Yeah.
Well, that's stopped. The 80-20 quite simply means is you can make 20%, and that's a big profit because they're making, what, $25 billion.
That's 20%.
50 billion a year?
A tremendous profit.
Yeah, is a tremendous profit. But they this year are giving back I think it's $1.1 billion. Guess to who?
Well, they're giving it back in some cases to the insured, but in many cases to the employers.
And the employers who insured.
The employers that pay their insured, but the employers do not have to give it back to the insured.
No, they don't. And if I was an employer, I think I would step up to my employees and say, look, I paid all this insurance. Basically, it's come back to me, which is going to help me, which I'm not going to have to lay anybody off. I mean,
right.
But 12.8 million people got money back. Guess where they get the most money back? Alaska. I think it's $600 per person up there who's insured. $600 back from your insurance?
Was that, where did you get that? Was it online or in the paper or what?
Last night it was on local news, and it was on the internet, and it also showed a lot of the laws. Now, let me make something clear. The insurance companies can make 20% profit. If they make over 20%, they must give it back to the people, which they did. 1.8 billion. So if you figure this out, if they made over 20% and they're giving back 1.8 billion, how much profit did they make? Astronomical. Billions.
Well, I suppose it depends on
50 billion?
I suppose it depends on if they're giving back 1.8 billion. I don't know how much.
All right, okay,
I don't know how much over they spent.
Okay,
I mean, was it 21 or 25 or what?
You can't calculate it.
Right. Right.
But one of the things that are very important is to know this. They gave that money back for two reasons. One reason they had to.
Yep.
The other reason is against the Obama administration to show how much money insurance companies are losing because of this law. Figure that one out. But there's 12.8 million people who got money back. It might buy votes for Obama in this case, because if Romney comes along, or as Boehner says, just pull the Obama healthcare thing out by the roots, no one gets anything. Now, what the insurance companies can do is they can take that money, 1.5 billion, and not give it back to the people, but put it into research and development on how to make health care less expensive and give everybody the proper insurance. And that's what they probably should have done. But they didn't do that. And they would not have to pay the money back to the people, but the people, we would get it all back by, you have a child who's ill, an existing condition. Guess what? Under the Obama Health Care Act, your insurance company can't take your insurance away from you, or they must insure you.
All right. So where are you going with this?
I'm saying it's a great day today.
You're uncharacteristically calm and about this, and
calm.
Yeah. You have yet to
blow up and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm trying.
Well, I think I'm a little, kind of wacky,
Well, that's
that's
true.
My invisibility.
See if I can see that hole in your head.
Yeah.
No, I would like to say something about this. The Supreme Court has come down with a decision.
Aha.
And the Supreme Court has essentially said that the guts of the Affordable Health Care Act are legal, and the Supreme Court, however you interpret it, whether you think that's right or wrong, I'm somebody who really likes the idea of certain finality in things, and for the moment, the Supreme Court has said this is the law of the land. Whether there are things about this that I don't like, and there certainly are, what I'd like to do is I'd like to see if there are ways that we can move on.
Move on. Well, no, it's moving on to the Republican Party is ripping the Health Care Act out by its roots. The problem is, if you want to do that, Do you really want to take health care away from the kids, the women, the people who can't afford health care, the people who have paid their money in and all of a sudden they get sick and they're just taking off health care? It's a lot of things. And the sad part is that the Romney, who is acting like, excuse me, a twit, Mitt the Twit, and this, by the way, was a headline on a paper in London, so I didn't make that up, but he is coming up with nothing. We can do this, but where is it, Mitt? Say something. Give us something. Are you going to take the money away from the kids? Are you going to take the insurance away from the single parent? What are you going to do? Are you going to let insurance companies turn around and say, guess what? You're sick. You got a year, and then that's it, and then you're going to have to go back. Is that what they're going to let happen? If that's the case, all right, and I have to think that it is because they have nothing else. Come up with something. Let's hear something. I don't know why anyone would vote for him. Now, one thing, it's really important, right here on the Telegraph. It's
the paper that we love.
The paper that we love. And we hope Nick Pappas will come on.
That's right.
Yes, I don't think he will, but we will try. But it's in the paper today that the health care insurance plan that Romney put in when he was governor in Massachusetts, the lawmakers there have finally came up with an equation whereby the insurance will not go up any faster than the cost of living. If he would have stuck to his guns, if he would have said, yeah, we need it, and this is the way we ought to need it, and the experiment is where I was in governor, as governor of Massachusetts, my God, he's a savior. But instead, like your two-faced sign, he's two-faced.
Well, I like to think that that's multifaceted.
Multifaceted.
A multifaceted.
Two-faced.
A multifaceted
Yeah,
sign.
and by the way, his wife's horse that's in the Olympics, she has a horse, right?
Yeah, I believe she does.
2010, they registered it as a business.
Well, it is a business if you're
Excuse me.
makes money.
Wouldn't everybody love to register their dog as a business?
Actually, it's the first thing I'm going to do when I go home. I was just thinking
Register
about
your
that.
dog as a business.
Bentley the Basenji.
So,
I'm going to
so
register.
tax breaks. So she gets the tax breaks for a horse that's in the Olympics as a business.
If the horse makes money, yeah.
Excuse me, you don't register your hobby as a business.
You don't think that thoroughbred horses, when they race, are, when they win money, that they're not considered a business?
Well, I'll tell you what. My father was brought up on Blossom Street here in the city of National Ward 6. We'll go down to Blossom Street, see how many people down there who have thoroughbred horses that they're going to use as businesses. Nobody maybe in.
You don't think that the people who train guide dogs don't register things as a business? Here you want to take.
I'll tell you what.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
You
want
said
to
guide
take
dogs.
tax incentives away from guide dogs? What kind of American are you?
I'll tell you what. When the guide dog can win the Kentucky Derby, I will be very happy. Carrying a jockey that weighs 110 and a dog wins. I'll call it a business if you want to. But people are saying, and by the way, he stopped doing that because basically it sort of wasn't legal. And by the way, they're now finding out that he didn't pay taxes for 10 years or paid under 10% worth of taxes. I mean, he's got to come clean.
Where do you? It's
a segue. I just slid into that. I just slid into that.
Well, let's see. Where in space can I go from here? Oh, I'll just grab this thing. It's like you're on another planet
well,
sometimes.
Dave, if you pause for a second, I'm going to throw something
good
in.
Lord. This is.
Do you think Pappas will really come on?
Well, wait a minute.
With my invisible painting?
On 3. We love the Telegraph. We love the Telegraph.
No, Well, we have probably about 4 more minutes.
Oh, the
Anything
poor,
you want
the
to
poor
say?
people, the poor people.
Well, this is a quick hour, and you know, as I say at the beginning of this, you're bad, I'm good. You say I'm bad because we're Democrats and Republicans. But you know, why don't more people do shows like ours?
I don't know.
Why are they chicken? And by the way, I was invited on a show with a Republican.
Yeah.
I think he watched this show and doesn't want me to come on his show because I beat the crap out of him.
Well,
because he can't stand up.
Yeah. The reality. Let's talk.
Have you been invited to a Republican show?
I don't get in. I don't even get invited to somebody's house for dinner.
You can't even get in the Telegram.
No, I can't. I certainly can't get in the Telegram. But
you mean you are one also that don't get invited to barbecues?
That's well, I'm not sure yet. I have been invited. I haven't gone to any barbecues, but I have been invited.
Okay. Maybe it takes 2 people like us to get together.
Maybe we should have our own barbecue.
Yeah.
Why don't we? We can have a barbecue. We can have a barbecue on the set.
How about here?
We can get a foreman, a George Foreman.
No, he's got one over there.
What, is that an electric barbecue? Oh, it is electric.
No, that's a little gas. We'll put it outside. We'll have a barbecue.
We'll have it on the stage. We'll get a foreman. We'll cook stuff on. We can do a combination of cooking show and a political show. We could do Dave and Ken's Kitchen.
Yeah, instead of the silver skillet.
That's right.
The silver skillet. Oh.
That
drives me nuts.
Dave and Ken make goulash.
Goulash. Yeah, we are goulash. All right, Dave. No, I'm very serious. I think I was a little offended to get invited to a Republican show. Then he watches the tape, and he is afraid for me to come on. I'm going to call him on lying. I called Kelly today a lie. She is a liar. It shows it right there that she's not telling the truth. And she's lied to us on a particular joint committee of House and Senate. She lied about this. She's using your money, campaign money, to drive around New Hampshire, fly around, your money, to tell lies, not truthful. Okay. Give your name and your two-faced sign a plug, and let's move on because we got to come to an end.
All right. Listen, this is Dave Robbins, and see what I have to put up with week after week after week. And I do this because I love the political process. I love what I do, but I need money. I need money to campaign. So, if you'd like to contact me, David S. Robbins at Comcast.net or 978-500-9471. I think that's it. I keep forgetting my telephone number. And come on down. Want to be on the show live sometime, give one of us a call, give us an email, and we'll work it out, and we'll invite you to our barbecue. Ken?
Yeah. Okay. My name is Ken Gidge. We are the founders of The Art of Politics. You may note, if you're watching the program, that he's a Republican, I'm a Democrat, and that's the way it ought to be. I'm a little offended that a Republican wouldn't, fulfill his agreement with me to go on his show because he can't take it. I can beat him up. That's when you got the truth on your side. All right. But my name is Ken Gidge. I am also a state representative. You can go to gidgeworld.com. That is an art place, and you can buy my invisible paintings if you so desire. You can also go to my email address, which is that's Kgidge, just Kgidge @AOL.com. You can also call me at 864-933-864-9332. You can get me there. And by the way, if you like what we do or don't like what we do, we'll give you 5 minutes to come down here and give us hell if you so desire. The other thing is that Sovereign Bank on Main Street will be displaying some of my, but not invisible, paintings, and they're doing that to a lot of artists. Sovereign Bank on Main Street here in Nashua in the next couple weeks. All right? Is that it?
Quick question.
Hurry up.
How come you're able to show your artwork all the time, but I can't show mine? You call it two-faced.
Sign.
All right.
Okay.
See you next time. Thanks a lot.